The night was quiet, almost suffocating in its stillness, when I stepped into the dimly lit study. Books lined every wall, their spines like silent witnesses to years of secrets. She was sitting in the armchair, her fingers tracing the edges of an old leather-bound diary, eyes cold, distant, unreadable. I froze at the doorway. "Don't touch me, Ryan," she said, her voice sharp, ice-coated, yet trembling in a way she didn't intend anyone to see. My heart twisted, not from anger, but from a devastating ache I had never known before. For 3 long seconds, the room seemed suspended in time. The flickering candlelight cast shadows that danced across her face, making her expression unreadable, dangerous, and heartbreakingly beautiful. I didn't respond. I just watched, knowing this moment would define everything that followed. Her words echoed in my mind as I retreated, each step reverberating like a drumbeat of my own despair. She thought my silence was weakness. She thought her coldness would shatter me, but she didn't know the storm she had awakened. I turned toward the library, where shelves overflowed with journals and old letters, fragments of memories, secrets, and truths she had tried to bury. Every page I touched revealed pieces of a life I thought I shared with her, now distorted and twisted by betrayal. The suspense of discovery gripped me. Each word, each confession, each hidden note she had left for herself but never intended me to see, was a key to unlocking the truth she thought she had buried forever. I opened one book, an old journal bound in cracked leather, and a folded note fell to the floor. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. Her handwriting danced across the page, casual, intimate, revealing details of a hidden affair, meetings in cafes I had never known about, lies whispered while I slept beside her. My chest tightened, my breath caught, not just in heartbreak, but in disbelief at the audacity of her deception. And then I realized, every smile she had given me, every touch she had feigned, had been a carefully rehearsed performance. My mind raced, but my hands remained steady. The suspense of what I would do next pressed down on me, a weight I could almost feel in my bones. I had the power now, the undeniable truth, and she didn't even suspect it. I didn't speak. Words would have been wasted, hollow against the magnitude of her betrayal. Instead, I gathered the evidence, stacking journals, notes, and receipts on the antique desk where she now sat, frozen in a mixture of fear and disbelief. The suspense was palpable. Her eyes flicked to the papers, realization dawning like a slow-burning fire. "Ryan, how?" she whispered, voice breaking, as though each syllable carried the weight of 1,000 lies. I didn't answer. My silence was sharper than any blade, louder than any scream, more devastating than any confession. I let her stare, let her drown in the evidence of the life she had tried to conceal, knowing that each revelation would destroy the image she had carefully built for herself. For us, I opened another journal, this one older, dust-covered, its pages filled with memories I had shared with her. I read aloud, not with anger, but with a voice steady and calm, the kind that cuts deeper than rage. "Remember this night?" I asked, turning to a passage where she had written about our first trip, the laughter, the promises. Her face went pale, eyes widening, as she recognized the moment she had deliberately erased from her mind, replacing them with lies and secrets. Each word I read was a hammer striking the fragile walls of her control. She had thought she could manipulate, deceive, and charm her way through life, but the books, these silent, honest witnesses, were exposing her piece by piece, and there was no escape. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. She sank into the armchair, clutching the journals to her chest, sobbing quietly. Her once proud posture crumbled, her eyes hollowed by regret, her lips trembling with words she could never fully articulate. I watched, my heart breaking not just for the pain she had caused me, but for the revelation of how much she had lost. Not just me, but the life she thought she controlled. And then, finally, I left. No words, no confrontation, just the quiet steps of someone who had claimed justice without cruelty. The suspense lingered in the room, the books, the scattered notes, a testament to every lie and betrayal finally brought into the light. I walked out into the dawn, the first light slicing through the darkness like a knife. Behind me, she remained, trapped in the ruins of her own making. Every secret she had whispered in the shadows now lay exposed, and the heartbreak she had inflicted had returned to her tenfold. And in that moment, I understood that true devastation doesn't come from anger or revenge. It comes from the quiet unveiling of truth, the unflinching display of reality, and the irreversible consequences of choices made in secrecy. She would never forget the books, the notes, the evidence, all silent witnesses to a life built on lies. And I, Ryan, walked away with nothing but the knowledge that silence, patience, and truth are the most lethal weapons of all.